Welcome back to the second segment of the Harry Thomas Show Week in Review. Today is Sunday, February 3rd, 2008. I'm your host, Harry Thomas. The website is harrythomas.info. So, could Ron Paul trigger a GOP revival? Only the most Panglossian Republican diehard would not recognize that the Republican Party is in serious trouble. Regardless of whether one supports the war or not, it is pretty clear that Republicans are losing favor due to the war and the effect of the war spending is having on the economy. The Republican Party used to stand for united and strong against the forces that strove for social welfare, centralized big government, overregulation, big taxation, and big spending. Lately, it has compromised on these ideals to appease fringe voters and to avert media criticism of the party's perceived lack of compassion. The Republican Party has become the small government party in rhetoric only. Optimism may lie in the recent groundswell of support emerging from these conservative ideals that were not so long ago at the forefront of the Republican debates. The catalyst for the new groundswell has been the campaign of presidential candidate Ron Paul. His message does not merely attract people of anti-war sentiment, but it ignites a forgotten passion among many Republicans who have found no strong voice for the traditional conservative ideals of small government, free enterprise, constitutional obedience, low taxes, and reduced spending. And it isn't just disenfranchised Republicans flocking to Ron Paul's message. Many liberals and independents have become converts to these conservative ideals. How long has it been since liberals began flocking to the Republican Party and became students of and active proselytes for the idea of conservatism? This proves that these ideals are powerful and gaining popularity in the internet age of communication. It is clearly not just the anti-war message that inspires the Paulites. If it were, then similar grassroots level of support would have arisen for Democrat anti-war advocate Kucinich and Gravel. And that is a good point. I mean, if it's just the anti-war message that people are saying that people are flocking to Ron Paul, then how come Kucinich and Gravel didn't get them kind of numbers? It isn't. It is the message of freedom, liberty, and small government economic soundness that is driving the masses. Ron Paul says that we must continue to fight. He praised the grassroots support and vows to continue to take on the establishment in the campaign update address, and I have that posted up at the website. Neocon global government. Now, I dug this out because a lot of people say, quit talking about the New World Order in reference to Ron Paul. Well, wait a minute here. Ron Paul refers to the New World Order himself and has for several years. This was him, Neocon global government, United Nations Reform Act of 2005. He was saying, what does this mean? The official adoption of this definition by the United Nations would have the effect of making resistance to any government or any international organization an international crime. And it goes on to say, the Commission will bring together the UN Security Council members, major donors, major troop contributing countries, appropriate United Nations organizations, the World Bank, and the International Monetary Fund, among others. The new Commission will create the beginning of global UN army. Okay, and it says, and he goes on to say, it is a complete new world order. And you can read that for yourself. I mean, a lot of people are trying to water down Ron Paul's message and stuff, and I don't think it's right. Let Ron Paul speak for himself. And Ron Paul does speak for himself when he says that he doesn't want any federal funds for this Texas Trans Corridor. He says he's particularly concerned about the use of eminent domain to take private land for the construction of the highway. And that bill, if passed, is going to go right over Waco, Texas, the memorial that was built there for the Branch Davidians, who were found innocent by a jury of their peers, by the way. And he also says that he is totally opposed to a superhighway being built by private companies. And I have to say I am total agreements with Ron on this. And I've got a link up to what Ron Paul said on legal and illegal immigration, and you can get it straight from the horse's mouth there on his policies. Now, there was an interview with Romney that pushed Mark Larson to support Ron Paul, and this is what Romney said on that show.
And I want to cut back on spending, but I'm not planning on cutting back to a 1% tax
All right,
rate.
you call Cato and check it out.
Okay,
Don't
Mark.
laugh, Mitt. You're laughing at Ron Paul, too, and you know he's right.
I sure am laughing at Ron Paul. I got to tell you, anybody who says we got to get rid of the CIA and the FBI and that the reason that we're attacked by jihadists is because of us is a guy who deserves a little bit of humor to come his way.
Keep laughing. Thanks,
All right.
Mitt. Talk to you later.
Thanks.
All right. Right there, he just lost my vote, Dan. He just lost my vote. He quoted Ron Paul out of school. He's chuckling about it. It's not funny. It is absolutely not funny. I got 4,000 dead soldiers, American soldiers, because of Iraq, which was ill-conceived. The premise was wrong. They lied. I got 4,000 dead soldiers. I got over 20,000 injured coming back. I got $1 trillion blown on that debacle, and he's laughing about it. You just lost my vote, Governor. You just lost it. And you notice when I put the pressure on, he had to run, just like Jon Snow did.
And then Mark Larson went on to say this about the elitists.
There's a guy, an elitist screwball right there, who has his millions, who could care less if the tax rate went to 40%. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. And he's laughing at Ron Paul again this morning. Well, he wants to get rid of the CIA. Hell yes, get rid of the CIA. What does the CIA do? They go out and do cloak and dagger crap ahead of the military and lay the groundwork, so roll it into the military. Get rid of another ABC agency. My God. And, you know, this nervous chuckling and mocking of a guy who speaks the truth, the man who told you the truth more than any other in those debates, who wasn't afraid to make enemies and tell the truth, was Ron Paul. And they laughed at him. Well, he deserves to be laughed at. No, Mitt Romney, you deserve to be laughed at. You elitist. Oh, I can't use the word. You know, it drives me nuts. And I think the Cato Institute is a pretty viable organization, and they've been crunching numbers for years. And Von Mises, I know, sometimes can be on the edge, but they've crunched them too. And when you look at the amount of money that changes hands on a daily basis in this country, especially when the economy is booming, and you tax it at 1% at all levels with no exemptions, guess what? You're going to generate a ton of revenue, and especially if you let people keep 1/3 more of their paychecks or 25% more. They're going to blow it. They spend it. Especially people at the lower income strata. They're going to spend their money, and that's all taxed at 1%. All of it. Doctor's appointments, groceries, homes, you name it, everything. Paving company, they're paying for the asphalt, they're paying for their paint, all of it's 1%, everything at all levels, no exemptions. The lobbyists are out of business, and Mitt Romney laughs. Mitt Romney, you lost my vote today. I was real close to giving it to you out of frustration, very close. And you know what? After hearing him chuckle like that, I'm going straight to that voting booth this morning, and I'm going to vote for Ron Paul. I know it ain't going to matter. I know Ron Paul ain't going to be president, but I've had it with these elitist Fs. I've had it with these guys. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Vote for Barack Obama, Hillary, Mitt Romney, John McCain. They're all on the same page, man. Every damned one of them. Every one of them. They will not change the tax code because it's control. It's total control. And Mitt Romney's one of them. And McCain's one of them.
Now, also, Howard Stern said that he agrees with Ron Paul, and so did his girlfriend Beth and co-host Robin.
Listening to the dude, and afterwards, Beth is sitting next to me, and I didn't say anything, and then all of a sudden I went, I think I agreed with everything that dude just said. and then she goes, I did too. I go, I don't know who that guy is. He wants us out of Iraq. Day one.
And he's a Republican.
He's the only one who stood up for us about the FCC, saying that they should have complete freedom on the radio.
Really?
And he's for abolishing the FCC.
Uh-oh. I just might have to vote Ron Paul.
Now, there you go. You can't beat that. Now, freedom is going to reign. I want to thank you for listening, and I will be back in the next segment to expose some of this election fraud that's going on.
Let's shake it up and start a revolution. Oh yeah. Let's shake it up.